What's going on, everybody? It's Pelfrey. Got another video. We're definitely going to check out something that's going on in the sump. I've got another piece of equipment over here on my cabinet stand. I'm pretty excited about this. So if you've been following me for a while, you would know that Blue Tide Acrylics made this 10-gallon auto top-off container for me to fit in this specific spot. It's been absolutely priceless. I do fill it up quite a bit, which is pretty much a no-no in our game, but I am using the Tunze osmolator, which has the optical sensor, and then the float switch as well. And then I do have some fail-safe set up with the Neptune Apex, so if this does flood my house, then shame on me. But he did an excellent job on this auto top-off container, and I really wanted something for the sump area, but I really didn't want to pay an astronomical amount to have it shipped over here because the only people that make it that I know of is overseas. So without further ado, let's mount the phone on the tripod, take a look in the sump. So I previously ran the Santa Monica Rain 2 algae turf scrubber on the tank, and it used to set right in this area here. I don't have anything against algae turf scrubbers. It worked absolutely well, maybe a little bit too well. But I've always wanted to have like a true refugium. So on the very first tank I ever set up, which was a 27-gallon cube, I ran the eShop's cube sump with it, and it came with a refugium. And I grew Chaeto just fine in that. I don't have any pods or anything in the tank. I wanted to add a refugium to this tank. I wanted it to be cost effective, so I reached out to Blue Tide Acrylics and I basically said, hey, can you take basically what Reef Dreams, I think they're in the United Kingdom, take what they've made for the Red Sea Reefer and duplicate that for me, because again, I didn't want to pay the 40 or 50, maybe $60 to ship 2 pieces of acrylic. So what we have here is a white piece of acrylic that runs the span of this section here, and then this divider here. So this white piece of acrylic goes all the way to the floor. There's no cutouts in it whatsoever. We have cutouts in the top section and bottom section of this center divider, and then over here we have cutouts on the top. Obviously there's no reason to have cutouts below this because there's a baffle there, so again, there was no reason to have cutouts there. There's a piece of acrylic that's welded on to the white piece, and then this piece right here screws on with some threaded screws, so it actually comes apart pretty easily. It was pretty easy for him to ship to me, no big deal, and it works out perfectly for me. So obviously I still have a piece of rock that came out of my display in the sump area. This is going to go away at some point, and I'm gonna replace that with some Chaeto. The overall goal here is to start a refugium, add some pods, and maybe hopefully help feed the fish. But I've posted about this on Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram, you're already up to speed. I am aware I do have some clear tubing off my return pump, and any bleed off light is going to grow algae or what have you. That silicone tubing's very easy and cheap to replace, so it's not really a concern of mine. Obviously the skimmer is probably going to get some bleed off there, but again, with such a small sump, you really don't have many options here, so you kind of have to take what you can get and make it work. So I have a couple options as far as lighting the refugium. I do still have the Rain 2, and it does have Gem 5 lights in it. There's 4 of them. I thought about taking out 2 of them and siliconing them to some acrylic and putting them on the floor of the sump here, so we got light coming up. It's definitely a possibility. I could even silicone them or find a way to fix them here so that the light shines this way. Now obviously the issue with this is there's going to be bleed off into the floor underneath the cabinet. I think I could fix that, not a big deal. The second option that I have is Tristan listed a Kessel H80 on Reef to Reef one day. I knew I was going to do a refugium, so I went ahead and got it from him, and I did turn it on. I don't know anything else about it except for the bigger brother. They got the 180, I think, and then the 380. I'm not really sure, so I'm not even going to try. But these lights are supposed to be perfect, and specific for macroalgae. So I do plan to run. I did keep the 0 to 10 volt cable that I ran the other Kessels on. So all I'm going to have to do is run, of course, power, and then I'll be able to control this with the Neptune Apex. So you can still control it with the knobs. That's still not an issue there, and I could plug the power cord into the Apex and just have it turn it on and off. But since I already have the 0 to 10 volt cable, I figured I might as well go ahead and use that option and you know, adjust it that way. The second reason for the Refugium is I have the red turf algae growing on some rocks. I have some bubble algae going on, and the sand bed. The sand bed's been an ongoing issue. So, excuse me, I am doing 8 to 10 gallon water changes every week, but I want to try some nutrient export. There's many different ways to do this. You can use the Red Sea No-Pox, you can do a Refugium, you can do a Chaeto reactor, you could do a algae turf scrubber. I'm going to try the Refugium out and see if I can combat some of the nutrients that are in the tank. So that's about it. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to need to source some Chaeto. I know Algae Barn and a couple other places have it. It's going to take a couple weeks for me to get this rock out of the sump, and then I'll try to order some Chaeto and get this rolling. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to mount the light. I'll probably just buy the Kessel arm and mount it in here. That way it's easily removed. I don't want to screw anything to the top of the stand and have it stuck there, because if I do need to get in there and it's mounted on the arm, it'll be easily, I'll be able to easily pull it off of the tank with no issues whatsoever. So that's that, folks. It's go time on the Blue Tide Acrylics Refugium kit for the Red Sea Reefer 250. I'm going to start off with the Kessel light because I have it, and if I'm not happy with that, then I'll sell it. I'll throw the Gem 5 lights in the sump area and try to grow some macroalgae. As always, I do appreciate you following along. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Pelfrey's Reef. Check out the website at pelfrey.net, and I'll catch you on the next one.